Fox News alert, the president back on his home turf. But before bidding farewell, Xi took POTUS through the hidden heart of Chinese power.
Nice place. Nice place. I like it. I like this place. I could get used to this.
Once an imperial garden, Zhongnanhai is now home to the chairman and his secretaries. The 1,500-acre compound is one of China's most secretive sites, hidden by high walls and guarded gates with pavilions, temples, and serene swimming pools. After the communists won the Civil War almost 80 years ago, Mao chose the garden for his palace, saying he wanted to distance himself from China's past. And now they call it the Chinese White House. And guess what? It has a ballroom. No one ever gets a peek inside.
Ask the president other from other countries, presidents and prime ministers, does he bring them?
Xi told the president very few, and then whispered, Putin. American presidents have been there in the past. Nixon was the first. George W. surveyed the lake, and Barack Obama, Xi showed him the jail cell. The president got a full tour of the ancient Botanical garden. Xi showed him a tree that's over 400 years old. The president asked, they live that long? Xi says he has a tree over 1,000 years old. But that wasn't part of the tour. At one point, the chairman encouraged the president to touch the bark. But the only thing that really caught 47's eye? The Chinese roses. POTUS told the chairman that they were the most beautiful roses anyone's ever seen. I've never seen roses so big, he said. So Xi packed him some seeds to bring home to Melania.
The president was interested to learn all about that, including the Chinese roses, which we looked at. And I've agreed to send the seeds for these roses to the president as a gift.
I love that. That's great.
The president says he'll be planting them in the rose garden. Let's hope the seeds aren't bugged. Body language experts told the New York Post these two men interacted like the two world leaders were two old buddies. Xi, who tends to be a little rigid, had a change in posture. Quote, we really have seen Xi very stiff and very straight before. This is a big thing when you see shoulders relax like that. That's huge. Experts also noticed the two leaders had their toes facing each other, which signified a connection. Trump says Xi actually surprised him.
He's central casting. You couldn't find a guy like him. Even his physical features, you know, he's tall, very tall, and especially for this country, because they tend to be a little bit shorter. If you went to Hollywood, you're not going to find a guy to play the role. He's good.
Xi even invited the president for a little afternoon tea, but the Chinese do tea a little differently than the British do. On the menu, minced codfish in a seafood soup, crispy and stir-fried lobster balls, pan-seared beef fillet stuffed with morel mushrooms, kung pao chicken and scallops, stewed beef in a bun, and of course, it wouldn't be a Chinese buffet without steamed dumplings, pork and shrimp, obviously. The press, though, they had Mickey D's. The Chinese gave them bags with Big Macs, but no fries. The best part. Meanwhile, the CEOs wined and dined themselves. NVIDIA's chipmaster general, he noshed on street noodles.
It's so good. I should put in next one. Is that right?
It's not just the noodles these CEOs are coming home with. They're bringing home a lot of moolah.
Those business people are here to make deals and to bring back jobs. China's going to invest hundreds of billions of dollars with those people that were in that room today. That's why they came.
Chips Ahoy and Elon are all smiles on their way home. Here they are on the president's plane. This time, we didn't forget the chip guy. China says they're going to try their own chips for now, but whenever they want, Trump's giving them the option to buy American. What they are going to be buying? Jets. Lots of them.
Made a lot of great trade deals, including over 200 planes from Boeing with a promise of 750 planes, which will be by far the largest order ever if they do a good job with the 200, which I'm sure they will. And that's General Electric also, the engines. So they're buying General Electric. So it's approximately 450 engines, 200 planes, and a promise of up to 750 if they do a good job.
And they're going to need some fuel for those planes. So the Chinese are sending their tankers to the Gulf of America.
They've agreed they want to buy oil from the United States. They're going to go to Texas. We're going to start sending Chinese ships to Texas and to Louisiana and to Alaska. And I think that was another thing that was agreed to. That's a big thing.
The farmers are going to be happy, too. Beijing's on a bean buying spree.
Did you get a deal on soybeans? You know, the farmers...
The farmers are going to be very happy. They're going to be buying billions of dollars of soybeans.
And Xi Jinping's going to put it all on the plastic.
We had the head of Visa there today, by the way. Visa's a big deal. I said, what about using Visa in China? For some reason, they were blackballed. And maybe that'll come off.
Say what you want about the Chinese, but they know a good deal when they see one. And there's no better time to buy American than now. Here's what Xi told the president. Listen.
Said the U.S. was declining for the last 4 years. And he said what President Trump has done in the last 15, 16 months has been virtually a miracle. He said we have the hottest country anywhere in the world.
The Chinese also understand the power of leverage. The president's been dangling all over Xi's head all year. We hit him in the mouth with tariffs, took out their gas stations, and shot a tomahawk into the South China Sea. And we're beating them at their own game.
Did you talk to him about the cyber attacks that he's done in the United States or the MSS has done?
I did, and he talked about attacks that we did in China. You know, what they do, we do too. We spy like hell on them too. I told him, we do a lot of stuff to you that you don't know about.
Xi's been in power for 13 years, but he's never met an American president with more power. President Trump's on offense, the Pentagon, assembling what they call Deal Team 6, a crew of Wall Streeters racing around the globe, locking up minerals.
Whoever wins the AI race, and we're going to win it. I mean, if we're smart, we're going to win it. If we're not smart, we're not. But we're leading by a lot. We talked about that last night. President Xi was very surprised at how well we've done with AI. Because they thought, you know, when it started, they took this gigantic lead. And we now we are substantially ahead of them in AI.
China may have the minerals, but they don't have the chips. But they do have an island off their coast full of them, Taiwan. Trump told Xi, don't even think about it.
I think they probably would do something pretty harsh, and then they would be met harshly, and bad things will happen. I'm not looking to have somebody go independent, and, you know, we're supposed to travel 9,500 miles to fight a war. I'm not looking for that. I want them to cool down. I want China to cool down.
But you're waiting on approving billions of dollars of weapons for Taiwan.
That's right.
Is that
I'm
moving forward?
Well, I haven't approved it yet. We're going to see what happens.
What are you looking for?
I may do it. I may not do it.
Yeah, what's your hinge point?
Well, I'm not going to say that, but I may do it. I may not do it. And it depends on China. It depends. It's a very good negotiating chip for us, frankly.
Trump's holding the chips here, not the Chinese. And he wants to go home with all of them.
I'll make a little news. I'd like to see everybody making chips over in Taiwan come into America, because to be honest with you, I think it's the greatest thing you can do, because it's a heated situation. There's no question about it. And as you know, we have massive amounts of chip companies now from Taiwan already coming in. We expect to have 40 to 50% of the world chip business by the end of my term.
Once chips are made in the United States, we don't need to go over to Taiwan and defend them. The president wants to compete with the Chinese without having to spill blood.
This summit, what will people be saying 10 years from now?
Well, I think it's a very historic summit. It's the two great countries. I call it the G2. This is the G2. They have G7. They had the G8. This is the G2. And I think it'll go down as a very important moment in history. And maybe more than anything else, a great moment of respect.
Next week, Putin's visiting China, but the level of ceremonies won't be the same, not even close. The Chinese respect President Trump. They fear him. He's the only president in decades that took him on, so they went over the top with the pomp and circumstance. The United States didn't give up anything at the summit. We didn't lift tariffs, chip controls, or buckle on Taiwan. The Chinese, on the other hand, they're going to be buying American airplanes, oil, and agriculture, and promise to let American companies do more business. Neither country really trusts each other. We spy, we tell each other lies, but the president and Xi have a personal relationship which can hopefully keep things calm as the emperor's swimming pool. Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.